I'm your host, Sheldon Alexander, and we got something a little bit different today. We got a bonus pod where we're breaking down the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we brought out the big guns to help us out as we deep dive through each and every playoff series to give you the goodness to try to help you make some money. So you believe in the Calgary Flames, but just to wrap things up here, do you believe in the Preds or the Avs? One more series to go here.
Oh boy. You know, that 2 weeks ago, there was a very simple path to success for Nashville. Saros, one of the best goalies in the world. If he can just stand on his head in a best-of-7 series, maybe Nashville can win a couple games, make it interesting. Who knows? Maybe they could steal a series. We've seen this happen before. There's always a big upset in the first round. Everybody will remind you of that fact. But, you know, Dave Riddick is not Saros. He is a, below average goaltender, below replacement level goaltender for the Predators. And when you're going to get pummeled by 40 plus shots a night, and a lot of them being great shots from great players, boy, Big Save Dave is going to have himself a little bit of a long series here. So, it's one of those things that's going to be tough, I think, to find a betting standpoint. But I think that the way I'm going to play this series is rooting for an Avalanche blowout in game one. I think the Preds right now, I got a plus 250 for game one. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's playable, but I think that, let's say Colorado wins 6-1 in game one. This is a phenomenon we see in the playoffs all the time. The books will overreact to that blowout. And the next thing you know, you're going to see Nashville at a ridiculous price for game two. And, the odds tell you it's 50-50 that Nashville wins at least one of these games. So if game one is a blowout and you see this price on Nashville blow out of proportion after they get their doors blown off of them in game one, you're just going to have to plug your nose and play the Predators, because that could be the way you come out of the series with, plus 330 winner. On the Predators, that you get the game that they win, right? So that's how I'm going to play it. I'm just going to sit back and hope that Nashville gets absolutely pummeled in game one. They get lucky in game two at a bigger price. And I know that's a lot of hypotheticals, but for a series like this, there's not much else to really talk about from a betting standpoint. And I will say that people are going to say, "Oh, should I bet Nathan MacKinnon to win this, to Conn Smythe, the Avalanche or the favorites? They should win the Stanley Cup." I would stay so far away from any Conn Smythe bets on the Avalanche, because there's about 13 guys that can win this thing. And I don't believe that, finding the right one, if you can do it, God bless, but not going to try to do it.
So I think Michael and I are headed to the same spot, but we are driving different vehicles in order to get there, right? From a mathematical perspective, I look at this and I go, I have to play Nashville plus 250 in game one. A couple of different reasons. One, I crunched the numbers as far as when Saros is playing versus when Riddick was playing over the course of this season. And the interesting thing is Saros, I think he played 1 or 2 times against the Avalanche, but Riddick has played in the past against the Avalanche this year. And the pricing was about a 5 to 6% probability adjustment when Saros was out and Riddick was in. Then they played, ironically, on Thursday. Literally last Thursday, after Saros got injured, Riddick got the call in Colorado. Nashville won the game 5-4. Now, again, that's less important from a result standpoint, because listen, that's the end of the regular season. Neither team having that much to play for. I don't know that we're going to see 5-4 games, though honestly, with the Avalanche, that's still in the realm of possibility. But the line was plus 260. And so there's been a small adjustment down to plus 250, I guess, because the Predators showed that they can at least compete even in a regular season game without UC Saros. But the point is those other games were plus 150, plus 170 in Colorado. And then Nashville was a plus 110, plus 120 home underdog. So now all of a sudden we've gotten into this zone where we're in the plus 250s for a Nashville team that outside of Saros is nasty. It's a really, really sort of tough playoff-y type of a team, all of that, all those sort of cliches. And so I just look at this from a numbers standpoint. Again, I don't think Nashville's going to win, so I don't really have any interest in the plus 500. But once you get to a point where you're pricing things like plus 250 on the road, what I will imagine would be probably about a plus 150 at home. Look at it this way. If they win 1 out of 3 games, 1, 2, and 5 in Colorado, you're going to be profitable if you bet the money line in every single game. Now, it's going to get a little dicey come game 5 if there is one, but I digress. If you get one of those two, right, you're up 2.5 units and you're down 2 units, you're going to be profitable there. If you get even a split in Nashville, right, you're going to be up 1.5 units, you're going to be down a unit there. So like, it's more of a math thing where it comes to like, okay, can they get this to game 6? Can they just even get this to potentially game 5, depending on the road that they take? And so I'm more interested in grabbing Nashville in game 1, maybe get that plus 250 winner, and then sort of like Homer Simpson myself back into the hedge and stay away from the rest of the series, or maybe go in on Nashville once they get it home. Like, this is, in my opinion, a chance to grab a 2.5 unit win here on game 1 for a team that, again, just competed with Colorado. When it comes to the Avalanche, we already know what we're going to get with their talent, right? This isn't anything to do with, oh man, I don't love the Avalanche, etc. I agree with Michael. I just can't pay any long-term prices when it comes to the Avalanche. And in the short term here, the prices are such that they're prohibitive as well. And this is a team that I liked last year to absolutely destroy the Blues. They did in the first round, but then it went a little hairy once they got to the Golden Knights. I think that's probably a situation down the line here that I'm going to be looking to fade the Avalanche a little bit more aggressively. Here, it's really just a matter of Predators. Could you get a couple of wins here to help a brother out? I mean, I don't ask for much here. Let's just try to force a game 6 here. Maybe get the Smashville crowd fired up. Maybe get a couple of games. If, worst case scenario, get a couple of games in games 3 and 4 to stretch this out a little bit here. But yeah, give me Nashville plus 250 on the money line in game 1, and then give me the series plus 2.5, minus 110 for a plus 2.5 on a Predators team that, again, outside of the goaltending, there's not really that much wrong with this team. It's a team that I still have above average for this season.